time now for the AT&T countdown to the CFP National Championship. We're going to look ahead, guys. Obviously, this is the semifinals. Two teams will win today, and then they will go to the CFP. But let's do a little prediction. So Alabama, Michigan, that's coming up in a few minutes. Who do you have in that matchup, HD?
I'm going Alabama. I think the simple fact, when you have a guy like Nick Saban, who is the greatest college coach of all time, you gave him ample time to prepare for this matchup against the Michigan Wolverines. I think that's going to pay huge dividends for this Alabama football team today. Also, when I look at the quarterback like Jalen Milroe, his big playability, you can have the perfect defense called, but the dynamics of his athleticism allows him to break that perfect defense that you have called and not only hit home runs in the pass game, but be able to do it with his legs as well.
Lyles, who you got?
I'm going with Alabama as well. Look, I think that this matchup is going to be a lot more competitive, and I think it's going to be an incredibly fun game. We're talking about two teams that do not make a lot of mistakes, that are going to, really try to grind you out. One thing about this game you see that sort of stands out to me is I still think that Zach Center loss looms large, specifically because of who Alabama's got on that defensive line. Not just because of whether it's Dallas Turner, Chris Braswell, but also because they have just guys on guys that you're going to be able to rotate in there, keep them fresh, and then we're not even getting to that NFL defensive back, right? I mean, this is an Alabama defense that I think no matter how Jalen Milroe plays, as long as he's just not atrocious, I think that Alabama's going to be able to come out on top of this one.
Yeah, Alabama has definitely been hitting their stride in the latter half of the season, so it would make sense for everybody to choose Alabama. However, I'm going Michigan because if you know me, you know I'm not choosing Alabama. Also,
as I look to the left and I see our producer Cologne on his head.
Cologne because he wants at least one person to choose Michigan out here. I also want to say I feel like it's about time that Michigan wins a bowl game. I mentioned at the beginning of the show that they haven't won a bowl game since 2016. It's been 8 years, so I feel like it's about that time. Also, we all know that Michigan feels like they're like an injustice was done to them. They feel like they're America's team, so they have this like chip on their shoulder that they put there themselves. So I feel like they're coming out today with a little bit of a different energy. They might not have all the stuff that they had at the beginning of the year, but they do have a different energy, I think, going into this matchup.
Whatever's going to work.
I'm gonna go with Michigan for this one, and again, I don't choose Alabama.
I see a shirt worn by Chris Cologne, our producer. It says Michigan versus everybody.
Who's everybody?
Talk to us, Cologne. I wish you could come over here and grab this mic and tell us who the hell is everybody.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's go to this matchup that we're seeing here, the Sugar Bowl. That's going to be in a few hours. We got Texas taking on Washington. Who do you have in that matchup, Lyles?
I got Washington. Look, man, it's tough picking this game. It really is, because especially this game, I could talk myself into either team winning. I just think offensively, Washington is going to be able to do too much for Texas to keep up with the fourth quarter. I really do. I think this will be a fun matchup. I think it's going to be a game going into the second half. How deep it goes into the second half, I'm not certain of that. But I think Michael Penix has his moment this evening, rather.
Okay.
This is hard for me. This is hard for me, Harry. You know this because Michael Penix is my boy.
Right.
You know that's my guy.
Sure is.
And I love those quarterbacks that can throw it all around the football field, can make every single throw, and all the throws are accurate. But I'm going with the Texas Longhorns in this one. I'm going to go ahead and hook them because I love that defensive line that they have. I love those linebackers that they have. Anthony Hill Jr., also Jalen Ford. I think he's going to be a guy that plays a pivotal role for the Texas Longhorns defensively. But you look on the offensive side of the ball, I like the wide receiver group and the tight ends for the Texas Longhorns. Those guys came up huge but when that pressure's on them constantly, I understand they play at Oregon, but I think Texas is going to be able to do something now.
Okay, so I so badly want Washington to win this game. I actually do, because I do think they are America's team because they're the one team that nobody hates. I'm going to go with Texas, though, in this one, just quite simply because I want a Texas-Alabama rematch, and I would like Texas to win that one, even though I don't think they necessarily will. So I'm going Texas, hook 'em for that matchup.
Light a cigarette just so I can breathe.